Yo, 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 what's going on, people? It's another edition of the BeU Podcast. It's your boy, Ashley, on Instagram, Ashley underscore BeU forever. How y'all doing, man? I'm cutting another cast. Unfortunately, I'm solo again, but that's okay. And like I said, my man, Mr. Lovely Day on Instagram, Lavelle, he's been quite busy lately, handling things with school and things like that. Much respect. He's trying to get that degree. So I respect that, brother. Go ahead and do your thing, and he'll be cutting one with me again sometime soon. But again, I have another guest. Okay. And some of you all that might be listening to this might know this guest, you may not. But she is a good friend of mine from back in the day. And she has blown up into something big. Sometimes I can't imagine that I'm still able to talk to her. It's kind of wild, like really. She's doing big stuff, and I'm sure like people I could probably run into in particular types of industries or just on the street. Like if I was to say her name, they would probably know who she is. I'm like, man, yeah, I met her 10 years ago in high school and doing all that other shit. Like, what, you know her? But yeah, I do. So today on the podcast, I have Miss Kaori Nik. All right. And I was actually doing a lot of practicing by saying Nick because I used to always call her something else back in the day. Like I said, we're friends. So I always used to call her something else. I'm not going to say that. She's Nick today. So yeah, she is on the show today. All right. And just quickly, I just want to give a little bit of news about Japan. Hey, we're finally getting vaccinated, guys. Finally. But the funny fucked up thing is that recently we just got off the so-called, how Japan wants to call it, as a lockdown. Finally got off the lockdown. As soon as that happened in Tokyo, about 617 people came up infected with corona. Can't make this shit up, people. But Japan will go ahead and move how they want to move and do things how they want to do it. Me and my family is still safe. I haven't been infected or anything of that nature. My health is fine. Knock on wood for all those things. So yeah, that's just a little quick update of what's going on here. Yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna take a short little interlude, and when we come back, Kaori Nik is gonna be here. All right. See y'all in a few. And we are back. All right, I hope y'all still here. So we have her here, but first I'm going to give a little bit of background on who she is for those who do not know, but I think a lot of you may know. Miss Kaori Nik is an international beauty and special effects artist. Okay, of Kaori Nik, and she has been a licensed cosmetologist in the industry for over 10 years, specializing in natural hair care and makeup for women of color. Kaori is devoted to servicing and educating Black women in a European dominated beauty industry, no doubt about that. Her client history includes Naomi Campbell, an Olympic swimmer, Simone Manuel, and events such as New York Fashion Week, the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Grammys, and more. And more. Damn, I'm like, I mean, is the ones I just said not enough? Corey is also editor-in-chief of Afro Vegan Beauty, a platform used to educate women of color on plant-based living, improve cosmetic literacy, and support Black-owned businesses. With that being said, y'all, let's welcome Miss Kaori Nik to the BeU Podcast. How are you, man? What's going on?
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a long time coming. I feel like we've been planning this for like 6 months.
We've been playing this, man. We've been back and forth a lot, trying to get this together to interview Miss Kaori Nik. Let me just say Nick for a while now. Because when I do think about BeU, I do think about her. As soon as I thought, I was like, yeah, I definitely interview Nick for the podcast. As long as I know her personality and things like that. But yeah, definitely about being you, 100%. I really believe it. But how you been?
I've been really good. I've just been honestly focusing on breath work. I think when we manifest all these big things into our lives and we're also
Mm.
managing, personal, family, relationships, we forget to breathe. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we do, we holding our breath because we just hoping some shit's gonna work out and we putting in the work and we're grinding and everything, but we gotta take more time to just be grounded and breathe. So I've been trying to breathe because there's been a lot going on over here.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot going on over there in the States. You're currently located in Cali at the moment, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm in the
yeah, I'm
valley.
been down in the valley, holding it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. That's awesome. So as I was telling, you know, the listeners is that we go back, man.
I think I was maybe like 15 or 16. It's and I'm 33. So yeah.
That is so crazy. We go back to Black Planet days, y'all. Y'all remember that Black
Wow.
Planet?
Lord
Wow.
Jesus. That's like right after the
Wow,
MySpace was
bro.
really big or something. I had a MySpace too. Did you have a MySpace?
Hell yeah. I
I
had
feel
all
like you
that.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like that
did.
it is this being online to connect with people is nothing new. I think just in the past maybe 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
it just really shot up because I was not a Facebooker for a minute. It took me a minute to warm up to Facebook. And then I was looking at Instagram like, do I really need this? Is this necessary? And then it's like, well, it's just pictures. I was like, oh, but I can do that. I can do pictures. I can do that.
Exactly. And of course, it's a definitely a huge advertising tool and staple for your business as well too.
Especially if you're
As
new
they come to be.
visuals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. So, like I said, man, yeah, we go back. We met in high school and we've been cool ever since. And
And we went to different high schools because you went to, where'd you
I
go?
went to Ridge Central
I know it was something
down
rich.
in Olympian Fields.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah. And I went to Homewood Flossmoor.
Yeah, yeah, up the street at Howard Flossmoor. And Nick, had always been braid. I remember braiding like early on.
Look, I was
I
doing
remember
hair
you
in the
always doing
basement
hair.
for some years.
Yeah,
Yes.
years. Yeah, I definitely remember that. Uh, but I didn't know that you also skill, and wanted to be as artistic, artistic with makeup and special effects and all these other things. So
Yeah.
when I real when I realized that you were doing that, I remember this was right. People, I love this story because it was right before I came to Japan. I was like, yo,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know you're built. This is at the time she was still small scale coming up, low level, and I knew she was building her portfolio. So I had requested that. I was like, yo, hey, before I go to Japan, I want to do something with you. Uh, I want you to paint my face, kabuki style. You know, at the time, I don't think you were too versed of what that was. Do you have an idea at the time? I don't remember.
I had to do research because I wasn't familiar, but I know I love like Japanese style everything. Like my tattoos, Japanese style. I had an appreciation for the style. So when you mentioned it, I said, "Well, I gotta figure this out." And then at the time, I was expanding on photography. I was in, community college before I went to Columbia for fashion. I was doing fine art at Prairie State, so I was already taking these photography and sketch classes. I was already in the paint field, so I was like, "Okay, I could do this." You know what I'm saying? Like I can do that. And when we actually executed it, it came out way like I have prints. I should have just they're in my closet. I have prints of your face from that photo shoot, and I shot it in the basement on the floor. with the camera. Like it was very rough, but I think it's one of those pieces where I would still print a big one of it and put it somewhere because it was just captivating. And the way that I shot it was slow shutter. And to explain that to your people, it just means that I dragged the light horizontally so it looks like he was moving the way that I shot it. But the colors were vibrant. It was like red, black, and white. It was it's one of my favorite pieces that I've done on the photography side and on the makeup side.
And that's the thing, people. Like when she was done, mind you, I mean, she didn't know anything about kabuki before that. And when she was done and like actually had all edited and things like that, I was like, damn, because we weren't in the studio, but it looked studio quality. Literally, we're down in her basement. She had a lamp. I remember it on the floor with one lamp. Like no backdrops, no special lighting, none of that. And one camera. And her makeup and her paints, in her bedroom at the time in her home in South Suburban Chicago. But when I mean the picture came out cold, I was like, damn.
And then you did it. I don't know which one of us requested it be in black and white, but the black and white ones go hard too. Yeah. I really like the color ones better, but the black and white ones still speak. And we just did some really dramatic poses. Like it came out fire.
Young out fire.
Oh man, beautiful. So at that point, I was like, okay, Nick is cold with this. And another thing, she actually had me help her with her name as well too, because if some
Kenyelle, because
really?
Kenyelle, because Kenyelle was gonna name his daughter that. I remember because let me tell you the root. So I was in school for fashion. I was developing a clothing line, didn't know what to call the line, and I consulted with Kenyelle. And we were just throwing out names with each other. And I was just trying to figure out what this branding was going to be for this clothing line. And when he said Kaori, because that's how we say it, very American way to say it. And I was just like, it's cute, it's cool. So I looked it up, found out what it meant. And I was like, I'm going to sleep on it. And then maybe a week later, I committed. And then I made it my Instagram name because I had started, developing this line. Design turns out not to be my passion. I wasn't really enthused to do clothing, but Facebook kept the name. I wasn't able to change it to Nicole, which is my government name. I wasn't able to change it. So I was like, all right, we're just going to rock with it. And I didn't think people were going to adopt it as my name, but they did. They started calling me Kaori in the streets. They started, no, but it's cute. You should keep that. And so I just kept it. That's how this whole thing came to be. And what I love about Kaori is that it speaks very much to my branding when it comes to the essence and the lingering, the fragrance, the aroma. That kind of experience you have with smell is the experience that I provide for my clients. They feel attended to, all of their senses are stimulated. It's an experience. And so I kept it. So now it's trademarked. You know what I'm saying? We got the EIN number. And now it's me. Now that's why I'm so strict on people calling me the right name, because I had to pay for that name. Okay, I had to put my work in on that name. You know what I'm saying? And like Nicole is not a bad thing. It's just very much a family. It's like a family name. Or if I owe you money, like my lease is for Nicole. Nicole pays the rent. You know what I mean?
I dig it. So yeah, you guys didn't pick up on that. Basically, Kaori means a scent of something. Okay. And I remember she was just like, what does scent like smell or something? Like,
I was like, send me voice notes to say it right.
And now it's become, she's her own thing, man. It's amazing. It's been amazing to watch you work and just develop over the years and like over the time, and just look at it. I'm like, what the fuck was she in? She on the red carpet? Oh.
Now they be treating me different. Be like,
I was like, you were
you a superstar. That's
I was
crazy.
like, I'm just looking at her like, she was what? Oh, amazing. So speaking of that, when did you realize that you were on the up and up? Like when you had that moment, it was clairvoyant at that point. You were like, damn, this is really happening. Shit is getting overwhelming. It's getting big. Whoa. Like when was that point?
I think it was a culmination of two things. I moved out to Los Angeles in 2014, and I had a makeup line called Profix. It was a handcrafted
I
lip
remember that.
color that I was
Mm.
making, and I was excited to move to LA and start to shop it around, get it in, small boutique stores and really push it. And I
Yeah.
wasn't getting anything. It was very like it just did not go well. So I just had to
Mm.
focus on paying the rent. I was like, okay, well, this isn't working, so I need to, build my clientele. It turns out that one of the buyers of Profix was Patti LaBelle's niece. And I
Surprise,
had gave her
motherfucker.
excellent customer service. I had no idea who she was, but I treat her like I treat everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very much an integrity person. I treat the CEO the same way I treat the janitor, the same way
There
that
you go.
I treat everybody the same. So I just gave her
Exactly.
excellent customer service, and she remembered me. So when I moved out here, she said, you know
Yeah.
what? I have a client for you. Let me know if you're open to it. And I was like, well, who is it? She said it's Naomi Campbell. And I was like, what? I just moved here 6 months ago, and you're telling me you want me to go do Naomi Campbell's hair? The fuck?
Wow.
It blew my mind. It was just like that customer service that I provided on a very basic level with my first
Wow.
passion got me into this, and then I'm working with Naomi Campbell for the Emmys and the Golden Globes and all this other shit. And it was just right then I was like, you know what? People say you move to LA and it takes you like 3 years to like really hop on success if you're in the entertainment industry. And that 6 months, when that happened, I was like, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out.
And then from there, it was just up and up, right?
You know what? Most of it is word of mouth. Felicia Leatherwood is my
Absolutely.
manager, and
Mm.
she follows me on Instagram. I follow her on Instagram, and it was very organic. I've been really blessed to, at this point, fall into relationships organically. There are some that seemed a little contrived, but I cut
Yeah.
those loose. I was able to get, the experience that I needed from those. And a lot of that was music videos, like working with
Yeah.
Will Smith and all these other newer artists. That was like a good stepping stone. But the grit, like how I got to the Simone Manuel level, was all organic networking. It was just like, I really fuck with your work and you really fuck with mine. And let's figure out how we can keep it in the circle, because we're all trying to get Black people in position.
There you
So
go.
yeah, my manager does Issa Rae's hair, so that's how I was able to do Issa's makeup. It's because that was a connected to connect. So yeah, working up under Felicia's been really good. I've been able to get clients like Simone, and I didn't know who Simone Manuel was. When I went they flew me to Palm Springs and was like, this is what we're doing. And I was like, I don't know this girl, but I went on Google, and it seems like she needs my grace. She needs my hands on her. And so we just had a good connection. And so from that point forward, everything just kind of was magnetic. Even Allison Felix, I now work with Allison Felix, who's also going to the Olympics. That was from a client, everyday client who happened to be in sports management. So when she has Black people that need their hair done, she calls me, and they actually, everything just flowed through. And me and Allison have a good, energetic connection.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know that was
I
a
mean,
lot. I felt like I was.
I mean, she Nick has a spread of individuals that she's worked with in a variety of different, industries, sects, and things like that. You heard sports, you heard entertainment. I probably don't even know, half of everybody you may have worked with over your time being in the business, but it's across a wide range. I know that for a fact. And you did bring up Miss Simone Manuel, who is an Olympic swimmer, which is quite fitting for the moment that she has qualified and is coming down for the Japan Olympics. You would have been more probably coming with her in the case this whole COVID business was in the way, correct?
You know what? What I know is
Coronavirus!
that they have to be vaccinated. From last I spoke about it in that circle, they have to be vaccinated in order to participate.
Right.
I personally am against the vaccine, so
Cool.
I'm okay not going to Japan. You know what I'm saying? I was excited at first because I thought, this was last year because the Olympics got pushed back. So last year I was lit to go to Tokyo. Now I'm like, I'll stay home. It's with the whole pandemic, like, I'll stay home, girl. I'll see you when you come back home to Texas. Get you know she's a Texas girl, so I would assume that some of her interviews are going to be in Texas. When she comes back, some of them are going to be in New York. So I think that's where I'll kick in, is when she does the press afterwards. I don't think she's going to need me at, she's going to be swimming. Her hair's going to be all over the place. So I'm going to catch her probably when she gets back.
Oh, indeed. But the way you describe it, it kind of seems like what you may have probably had the option in the case that you were pro, in the case you were pro vaccine, you could have went.
I don't know, because I don't ask. Like, I'll wait
Right.
until they let me know what's up, really.
Right.
We talked about it last year briefly, but from what I've gathered, it just didn't seem necessary. And then now the COVID hit, I'm like, girl, it's okay if it's not necessary.
Yeah, yeah, I dig it. I also feel that's a solid move. That is definitely also BeU to kind of stick to your guns and say, hey, COVID is crazy, still kind of crazy right now. I'm not about vaccination. You personally, I'm gonna hang back.
Yeah.
You sticking to your values and what you feel is good for you, despite you having it, like catching a trip to Japan and doing stuff like that. You say, nah, I'm cool. Hey, come on now. That takes quite a bit. I think that takes quite a bit of mental fortitude to kind of just say, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, respect to that. But yeah, as we all know, Miss Simone Manuel will be coming on down here to swim for the United States of America here in Japan. So yeah, like as stated, this is also one of the individuals that Ms. Nick has worked with. Amazing. So speaking of people you've been working with, I mean, is there anybody that is on the radar?
Yes.
At this point that you're going to be collabing or working with at some point?
I definitely am positioning myself for Jordan Peele. That is my goal right now. Because
Really?
For those who don't know, I moved out here for special effects. I had the vegan product at the time. I wasn't vegan, but it was an add-on to my beauty extension. But I came for special effects. I came for character makeup. I came for blood, literally. So I haven't been able to tap into that because it's a very hard industry as a Black creative female to get into. It's very white male dominated. So the only way I foresee this happening successfully on my accord is with Jordan Peele, because he has stepped into the horror genre. I'm currently going to be working on a documentary called The History of Horror. I just booked this gig a couple of days ago, and they're going to be interviewing, key executives in the horror community. And how would you do that without Jordan Peele? I highly doubt they're going to do that whole thing and not at least try to reach out to Jordan, because Get Out and what was it, Us? I think Us was more. Yeah. So I feel like he's got the brain and I've got the skills, and I could make whatever happen. Quentin Tarantino was also on my list. Tim Burton is also on my list. Like, I'm a huge special effects fan, and I love fantasy. I think special effects has different genres within it. Sci-fi in general, for me, is about seeing Black people in the future. So oftentimes when you have a futuristic concept in film, it's surrounded around white characters. There's no Black characters in it. Even the Marvel characters that we know, superheroes and things like that, things that kids dream to grow up and be like, we don't really get to have those fantasies. So my mission in that case is to create more spaces for Black people to be seen in a futuristic kind of way. And with Jordan Peele, I feel like that's going to be possible. So he don't know I'm coming, but I'm coming.
Hey, hopefully he's listening to this, or he sees this, or something he comes across your Instagram. Well, you gonna get it. You got and everything else. Like I mean, you it's coming, no doubt about that. That was what really, to be quite honest, surprised me. I know that you were big on the special effects side, and you were getting into that makeup as well too. So when I started seeing that on your Instagram,
like that was the start. Doing the face paint with us was the start to that moment.
I can, I mean, basically, I guess you could say that. And then you were making like just, I started seeing like, you did some either a rabbit, you did
Gino, that's the latest
Gino,
one,
the character, that was dope. If y'all could stop by her Instagram, I think it might be in your IGTV right? As well too.
Yeah, or you
The
go
little
to
short.
Kaori Nik Studios FX. It's my handle with FX at the end, and it's all the my special effects stuff is there.
Yeah, she created a dope character called Gino, and she made the whole thing.
Yeah,
You know, I was just
prosthetics is huge.
yeah. I didn't, and I didn't even know that you are deeply interested in that side of makeup. So that was a surprise as well too. I'm like, damn, she's just multifaceted. I'm like, she's doing everything, you know, and doing it. I mean, do you have a team now? Or is it just still like you now? Like, are you still just doing everything on your own, or like do you
Yes,
just bring people
actually,
in when you want to bring people in? Like what?
all that. So Gino was probably the biggest production I've done myself,
Yeah,
aside from something not special. I mean, I've produced short films, but this is the first special effects one that I did that required like help. So Gino is a gremlin from New York, living in Los Angeles, and he's vegan. He comes across a girl at the train station, and he's pressing her to give him some time. She says she's vegan, and he's like, "Oh, I know a couple vegan restaurants," and they shoot off together. So that's kind of the storyline. But I went back and forth with my guy from New York. His name's Tracy. He's from Queens, and he was able to do the voiceover work. I thought, how dope would it be if I could live this character out? No one knows that it's me underneath, and have this New York voice happening. Novi Brown, who's on Tyler Perry's girlfriend, plays the love interest. So she's a homegirl of mine. We were cool before she got on with Tyler Perry. So it was just, it was just good synergy with that. I there was what's it called? I'm sorry, I drew a blank. I had to make my own props. The ears had to be made from scratch. The hands had to be. It was the most involved, but I still did all the pieces solo. Where I did have help is a cosplay artist, a black guy from Chicago named Tristan, who I met through a barber that I used to work with, the network. And he's in cosplay. So he was able to give me tips on how to properly assemble and put together these big gremlin ears and these big hands. Like he just helped me elevate and enhance the makeup. The prosthetics were still the same. I just had more elements to it. And I had somebody shoot it. So I wasn't shooting it myself. I had my homegirl shoot it for me. I had Tracy doing the voiceover work. I had a love interest. It was probably the biggest production. And then at the very end, we got an audio guy, like an audio designer. I don't know what they call themselves, but he was able to do a custom track for it. I was like, and that was a whole different experience for me because I don't work in audio. So I can't tell you how to make the song sound sad or how to make the song sound suspenseful. So we're just playing with noises, and I'm watching him put it all together on top of the video. It just blew my mind how intricate it got. So it went from being in my mom's basement on the floor, like roughing it, to like that. And it's just like whatever I can utilize to get the vision out, we just gonna get the vision out.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's amazing where you're at right now, and you just keep going up. It's a beautiful thing, you know. Uh, with that, as I've been talking to you, I have always brought across to you since this podcast is about things Japan as well too. Um, have you been thinking about making moves and doing some things at some point in Japan? Because um, as I've been here, I've been here quite a while, and you know, just thinking about your work in Tokyo in general, I just see it meshing very well. Like it's just, I definitely think it's just you finding and connecting with the right people out here to get something going. Because first of all, you alone and your branding and who you are, just being African American and your look and things like that, that alone will is marketable here. I mean, and I know you're gonna be, you'll probably bring this up as well too, because you asked me about this about black women cosmetics out here because it's very scarce. But you would still be extremely marketable with Japanese women. and it would just be finding the right person in the right realm, I think, to really to get you going here. So, I mean, have you had any interest in Japan? Have you been? I mean, what is it with that?
I think it's something I'm definitely drawn to because just off GP, the style of it, the style of Japanese art. One of my favorite designers is a Japanese designer. I think it's Yoji, right? Yoji Yamamoto and his daughter. That's my favorite duo right there. They make awesome clothes. I think just the design element is what draws me to Tokyo, but I don't have a direct connect but you. And so I haven't stretched my limbs in that direction. I initially thought that Olympics being in Tokyo was like a meant to be situation. Like I'm supposed to be there. I'm gonna be there. So now the situation has changed. It's like I don't really know when and how it's gonna happen, but I would love for it to. I'm not closed to it. I'm definitely open.
I'll be
And
your
I just
interpreter.
look, and we're gonna definitely use that lifeline. Okay, we're definitely using that lifeline. Um, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Take your time.
I think it's gonna be whenever it happens, however it happens, it's gonna be good. I think right now I just started my LLC here because I've been a business in Illinois for so long. I just shut that down so that I could start here, just so it could be easier for lawyers and stuff like that. So accountants and whatnot. So I just got that set up. I think I have a little more setupness to do here because I love to buy property. You just have everything more settled here, and then go ahead and live abroad, or at least travel for 6 months and just kind of see, get a feel of the land in Europe, get a feel of the land in Africa, just kind of figure out where I want to be because I definitely don't see like the US being my home like that. Like I don't
Oh,
see that.
really?
Yeah, no, I'm just here because this is where I'm from. This is where I have the biggest following. This is where I got the most traction. And until I can make sure that it's stable enough for me to move away from it and it still makes money for me, I'll be here.
I didn't know that.
I
I
know.
we're wow. Okay. Well, where potentially were you thinking about living abroad?
Well, that's the thing is that I'm not sure yet. I think realistically,
Mm,
and I hate that term, realistically, it would be London
mm.
first. And then we hop from London because at least I know I have clients in London. I know people in London. I know there's a thriving Black community in London. Let's
Yeah,
start there.
definitely. No doubt.
And then I'd be able, and I hear it's like a train ride from, Paris, France,
Oh yeah.
Spain and shit. You know what I mean? It's easier to navigate from London, but it's only what I'm understanding in the European space. If I wanted to try Africa out, which a lot of our people are doing, a lot of us are going back to Africa, and we're well within our rights to do that. So I feel like that needs to go. That needs not go undiscovered as well. There's options. So I definitely want to take a couple months to just travel abroad and see where roots feel good to me, especially a Black woman in business, because being a Black woman in business ain't the business everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not always the most beneficial. When you think about like Greece, when I talk to somebody that's actually living over there, they were like, honey, no, not for women of color. That's not where you want to settle down and make a family. So we got some searching to do.
Yes, 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 yes. That's awesome. And I'm definitely pushing for that, no doubt about it. I mean, I know my time is winding down here in Japan as well too, but it may not be the end of it. My dwellings abroad. I may be back through some type of job, or maybe after I retire or whatever so may be. I think as a lot of my listeners know and people who follow my Instagram and things like that are aware that, I do have a family that keeps me, of course, definitely connected, to this country.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, I definitely support that. And I'm glad you have to actually brought that up, to encourage, other individuals who may be listening to this that are looking to dive abroad. I think a lot of people that are interested in that do listen to this podcast to get some insight. So that is awesome. And I'm
I
all
think
for
it's so
that.
important that cultural currency. I feel like life is so much
Yes.
more rich when you can experience cultures outside of ourselves, especially for Black people, because we have a very
Mm,
limited way of thinking in the States and it holds
mm,
us back from having some real ass experiences. And I'm
mm.
just trying to have real ass experiences.
There you go. Hell yeah. I mean, you definitely have some real life experiences here. No doubt. So, hey, with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Is there anything, any last words you want to leave with the individuals listening to the BeU podcast? Uh, Anything you want to lay on them before I go ahead and let you go, Miss Nick?
I feel like we touched on the beauty aspect and the special effects aspect of my career, but the biggest change that's happened within me and my career is the wellness portion and being plant-based and African American at the same time, and teaching other Black people about veganism and plant-based living and its benefits and what's not. It has been an uphill battle. I got a lot of pushback. I lost almost 30 pounds a couple years ago, and everybody had comments on that. And then, just socially, it's challenging to um, go out late at night with my friends, because none of my close friends are vegan, so I'm the only one. If we're out late at night and we're hungry, it's the issue there and all the questioning. I think that being plant-based comes with dealing with a lot of adversity in different spaces. And to sew it back to be you, I don't give a damn.
You don't.
I
I
don't
can
give a
vouch for that.
damn. Okay, I don't give a damn. I've been plant-based. It'll be 5 years in December, and I still don't have anyone super close to me that lives the same diet. My mom now, actually, and her boyfriend have been vegan since January, but I've been
Wow.
vegan almost 5 years, and I've never pushed that on anybody. But I say that to say, like, sticking to your guns is key. I've lost a lot of friends in Los Angeles, whether it was because of plant-based or because of money, opportunities, and
That's
things like
crazy.
that. I've
Yeah.
never wavered, though. I'm still the same person from Chicago.
And that is so beautiful. You are. Like, despite the fame that
Quote unquote.
Nick
I'm not claiming that. Quote
don't.
unquote.
Okay, she ain't claiming. I'm saying it. That's right. Despite the fame you have been blessed to be surrounded with, and the people that you work with, you are genuinely still you. Like, yeah. Let me say it like this, people. If I didn't, let's just say, after we did our little photo shoot on the floor back in Chicago with that lamp. If I didn't have any social media and I just spoke with Nick on the phone every day or something, I don't know, snail mail or whatever, to where I couldn't see what was going on in her life, I wouldn't know what she is today. Because she just wouldn't bring it up. Like, yeah, I went and fucked with Naomi Campbell today. Like, like, I would not know that. You know what I mean? So, like, if
Yeah.
I heard it by word, I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, you was with you did my Naomi Campbell's hair. What?
See, and
Yeah,
I
whatever.
like to
Like,
keep it chill. We gotta stay humble though. Still
got
hungry, still
to.
humble.
That's be you. You definitely got to do that, man. And you've been that. Hence why I had to, interview you for the podcast to show people that, like, you a big deal. Don't let
I
and
appreciate
know
you.
that but you being humble
We do what
and
we can. We do what we can.
yeah, yeah, and yeah. So I appreciate you coming on to the podcast. I really
Thank you
do.
so much.
I know you are extremely busy. Just to let individuals know right now how much of a friend and how much I wanted to interview Nick. It's 2 a.m. here on Saturday morning in Japan to make this work. Because we were trying to work out the time, because the time difference is hell.
It's
Especially
crazy.
especially California. You know, and
Yeah,
when she
so
gave the
it's
time,
eleven
I was
ten
like,
a.m. now.
yeah. When I gave the time, I was like, damn, that's gonna be 2 in the morning Saturday. I was like, all right, whatever, let's do it. And I had no issues doing that.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you,
We made this
and
work. Look, we did it. We can check it off now. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We've
it's
been talking
done,
about
people.
this shit forever.
The ever is in the books. And with my last words, before I go ahead and let you go on and do what you're gonna do. As I really appreciate you, I am extremely amazed and proud of what it is that you have created and have done. as you know, I am in full support of everything that you're doing. If I when I get back stateside, if there's anything I can provide on my side at any time, please do let me know. Like I said, when you're trying to jump into Japan, you need some translation and some interpretation. That ain't an issue. But keep being you, keep doing your thing. And hey, sky's from what I'm saying right now with you, sky's the damn limit. Like shit. Shit you've been doing. I like, what's the next step? Damn. I just be waiting. Like to see some other like superstar you and work with or something like that. I'm like, God damn. Nick is doing it. And keep doing it. And one last thing, happy Pride Month.
Oh my God, that means a lot that you acknowledge that. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you.
Yes. Miss Nick is a proud LGBTQ and very active in the community. So happy Pride Month. Keep being you, keep doing your thing. And I really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Anytime. Let me know.
Hey, most definitely. As the Japanese would say, arigatou gozaimashita. So I thank you very much for that. All right.
All right.
All right. You be everybody. Cool. It will be in touch. I'm in touch with a superstar. Like my friend. You be cool, Nick.
Thank you, Ashley. Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah, man. So there it is. That was Miss Kaori Nik. Amazing person, amazing personality. If you're ever able to meet her in person, she's just a super down to earth individual. And as like I said, dead ass down to earth. If you didn't hear this podcast or you didn't see her social media or you didn't see anything of that nature, you wouldn't even know the individuals she's worked with. And like I said, the fame she has been surrounded by. And that is definitely BeU, in my opinion, to kind of keep that. She's still her to the core, despite all the lights, all the glitz, all the glam, all that stuff. That is still the same Nick that I met. Damn, what do you say? Was she 33 or 34? 20-something years ago, or something like that. Yeah, 20-something odd years ago. My math might be off, but shit, I don't know. It's 2:00 in the morning. But yeah, long time ago. Still the same person, man. So my final words on this, speaking with Nick and seeing what she's done and even reflecting on me making leaps and bounds to come here and live in Japan. Man, just I like I said, because this is what this podcast perpetuates, is being you. So just keep doing that and doing these ways that you want to do. Even if you got to cut some people off, some people got to fall by the wayside. Just keep doing what it is that you want to do and keep doing the things that make you happy and understanding what it is that you are about. And continue to move that way and everything else will fall in place. Definitely. There was many times, during the time I've been here where people, prior to me making a decision myself, then hey, yeah, maybe you should come back. Why are you still there? At those times, I wasn't ready yet. I felt like shit was still undone. That I wasn't done yet. But when I, got ready to say, you know what, this is it, that's when it happened. So with that being said, once again, thank you to Kaori Nik for coming on to the BeU Podcast today. It's much appreciated. And with that being said, wherever you're at in the world, morning, noon, and night, always remember to be you. And as always, you're just going to let Samuel let y'all know what it is. Peace.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.